Greetings, it is I, Tantus Naravan Dracovin, Lord and Emperor of the Dracovin Empire, and welcome. It is time to continue my discussion on the various forgotten collectible card games of old. Collectible card games that have fallen by the wayside. Either no one plays them anymore, they're not supported by the creators, or for whatever reason, they've fallen into disrepute and they're just not in circulation as much as they once were. Let's continue today where we were talking about with the Star Trek, the customizable card game. We were talking about the rules. When someone talks about the word command, it is referring to every card you have in play in front of you. This is not in your mission. This is not in your deck, your dilemma pile, your hand, or your discard. You're commanding everything else that's in front of you that's in the play area. Now, it is possible for an opponent to take command of something under your play area, or for you to take command of something on your opponent's area. That's where the word owner comes in. Owner refers to every card that you began with at the beginning of the game. You are the owner of them. At the end of the game, you are the owner of them. You get all the cards back that you own. So whenever they talk about owner, they're referring to a card that began the game with you. You're still the owner, even if an opponent takes command of a card. The word your is shorthand for basically anything under command. When they say opponents, it's shorthand for anything under your opponent's command. Now there are words used to associate moving a card from somewhere else to your discard pile. Discard says that when something is being discarded, it is going from your hand to the discard pile, or from your library to the discard pile. Destroy, it's going from play to the discard pile. Kill is also used, and it's the same thing for going from play to the discard pile, but it's associated with personnel. All personnel have a number of skills to them. Skills are represented by by a red dot representing that this is in fact a skill. Certain personnel have more than one level of a skill, and we'll mention skill of that level 2, 3, etc., however best they are at that skill. Skill is used to overcome the various challenges, complete the missions by your personnel over the course of the game. If something should call for a skill of 3, then you could use any combination of personnel as long as they add up to 3. That means if they each have a rank of 1, if one of them has a 3, one of them has a 2, and a 1, all of this would count for the 3 for overcoming the skill. If you have a personnel that has a 3 in a skill and you're having them complete a mission that only requires 1, that is also fine. They could have more skill than is necessary to overcome the mission or the dilemma. That is acceptable. There are also other cards which could be attached to your personnel over the course of the adventure that will give them extra skills. This will do just that. It will either grant them a skill they didn't have before, or if they already had that skill, it will grant them an additional level in that skill, changing it to a 2, a 3, whatever. And there might be a number of keywords in bold-faced text in the beginning of the game tests of your cards. These have no effect on gameplay. What these are specific words that would help you determine references to other cards or connections to other cards. They will basically put together that this card is connected to this card because of these keywords. These may be more than one word. It just doesn't have to be a single word. Keywords are separated out by a period. So there might be colons or commas in between them defining that this set of words equals one keyword defining this, whether it's a location or a specific group within another group. When and while are special words describing when an action is specifically triggered. The action is specifically mentioned that is being triggered, followed by a comma. When it applies in response to something occurring. It will tell you the trigger that will occur, and then you will have that when that occurs, this will occur. You get only one triggering of this example as a result of this. So my trigger occurs when this occurs, and I can use this once then. While is more of an intermediate, saying during a specific time period. Now, something that refers to downloading refers to you searching through your library for a specific card. Then, when you download, you will find that card without your library, search through it. You will then reveal that card to reveal that you have found the correct card, place it in your hand, and shuffle your library afterwards. Certain downloads will mention the type of card. It could say a specific type of card, as I'm saying. It could say a type of group. It could say a certain card in particular. Regardless of what it say, the card will tell you what you are able to download. It will give you the options for that. If you do not find that card, or you choose not to take that card when you are downloading, both are options you are allowed to do, and there is no penalty for it. So if something has you download and you choose not to do it, well, that's fine. Or if you don't find anything, also fine. So now when we're setting up, first of all, we take our mission cards and we place them in front of us, all 5 of them. We can put it in whatever order we desire in front of us. Then we take our dilemma pile. We shuffle it up, put it to our left of our pile. Then we take our deck, we shuffle that up, put it to the right of our section. Then each player draws 7 cards from their deck. Each player will take a turn order, which we're going to determine randomly the order of players, who goes first. But once you take your turn order, first off, you play and draw cards. Then you execute any orders you have. And finally, you discard any excess cards to end your turn. Then you move clockwise around the board, going to player, taking their turns. If it's only 2 players, it goes to the other player. If there's 3 players, well, then you'll be rotating that clockwise direction through all the players that are participating, and then you will keep repeating turns like that. Once your turn begins, you complete any at the start of a player's turn abilities. These are only done once at this point in time and in any order that you wish if you have multiple at the start of the turn abilities going on. So let's talk about the first segment of your turn, the play and draw cards. So, you may play cards from your hand during this period of time. You may also draw cards. When we're talking about playing cards, you get a number of tokens. You get 7 tokens which you can use on your turns to basically purchase cards to play. Now the fact is that each card will have a value to it when you are playing it. You can play any number of cards as long as you have tokens in which to spend on it. If you do not have enough tokens to spend, then you cannot play that card. If there is a card that's out on play with a dot on it, you can't play another card into your command. You can only command one of a card that has a dot on it. It makes it sure that this is a unique card. You cannot play any other copies of it. Now is the time where we'll play our cards. We're going to be paying the costs. For personnel, when you play them, you're going to play them at a headquarters. This headquarters has to match the affiliation of the personnel you're playing. Otherwise, it will state specifically on that card how else you could play it. Sometimes it will mention you can play it in a certain other way. Then you'll listen to the card itself. Otherwise, you're limited to the headquarters with this type of card. You're going to place them crosswise below the headquarters, the mission headquarters, in a stack. A single stack when you play them. Ships are also played at a headquarters unless otherwise stated on the card, and once again they have to match the affiliations of the headquarters that you're playing them with. These are placed behind the headquarters, behind the mission, and you may place multiple ships at a mission/headquarters. You just have to place them in a line going behind there. Equipment are placed at a mission, a headquarters also. Equipment are played at a headquarters mission. You can place it at any headquarters. Affiliation does not matter when it comes to equipment. You will place them crosswise with the personnel under this headquarters mission. Events are played as the card indicates, either into the core area of your gameplay, basically in the center area of your gameplay, or attached to another card as indicated by the event itself. It will let you know where you're playing this event as part of. Interrupts are simply revealed to another player and then destroyed after their effect goes through. These will often use the term when to indicate during which phase or which option that you have to play them. They also might use the word order to indicate that you're doing it usually during the execute order portion of the turn. These are unique because they can be played either during your own turn or during an opponent's turn. They are not limited to this single segment during your turn. They are open up to any time during gameplay as long as you meet the conditions of the interrupt on the card. Whenever it says when you can use it or during the orders you can use it. But that's it for today. So we dove deeper into the Star Trek, the customizable card game rules. We talked about a couple more terms you're going to have to know about. We talked about the ownership kind of terms, the control command terms. We talked about destroying, killing, discarding. We, of course, moved in and talked about downloading. We talked about then the basic setup of the game. where all your stuff is going to be in front of you. That you're going to have your missions in front of you, dilemmas to the right, dilemmas to the left, discard deck to the right, and then you're just going to draw your 7 cards, take your turn. And that's where we've moved into talking about the turn. We, of course, first started talking about your placing of cards, your playing of cards, and your drawing cards, which we really only discussed at this point in time, playing all your cards. We talked about all the different types of cards and playing them. In the next episode, we're going to dive deeper into this and talking about all the other things you can do during this phase, including drawing cards, and then move into the execute orders phase of gameplay and talk about that. But if you have any questions, comments, anything you want to say, anything you think I left out, please leave in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. It shows support the channel, the Empire, the work I do. If you want to show some extra support, you can always check out my Patreon, link to the description below. There's some great rewards there. Helps to grow and improve the channel and the Empire. But regardless, until the next time, I bid you farewell.